Welcome back, everyone. Drake Hawkins with again, and we're back playing some more Factorio. I have not yet, I'm going to have to record two back-to-back here. I have not yet been able to have a bit of feedback from you guys on those fun chest problems we had, or logistics problems we had yesterday. No problem, really. We'll get it solved. This stuff is going to help with the fuel supply anyways, I guess. We'll go like this, and like this, this, and this, so we balance them up nicely. Next thing I want to do is spin up here and find where we put our cliff explosives. Up this way? Okay, you are producing, are you not? Okay, there's only 20 there. Why do I have... Oh, okay. Oh no! Not what I meant to do. I need more cliff explosives for today. I know it's come to this. Drake is upgrading his number of cliff explosives in his inventory. It's a thing. Let's give me 50. Do they go in... They do go in stacks bigger than 20, don't they? No, they don't, apparently. Okay. My bad. Let's not have that going. They don't. Right click. No, left click to use it. Dummy. It's been a while, okay? It's been a while. I want like 60 of these guys, please. Ridiculous, I know, but... Make it a thing, guys. Make it a thing. I suppose you can also make it think faster if you do that. Okay, now. Those are working away. We have got some oil issues. We've definitely not got it properly balanced. This guy's got a proper network saying, hey, you're going to turn some more into petroleum if you get too much light. The heavy does the same sort of thing. That's fine. The problem is we stack up a bazillion of these guys, and we don't really do anything with them right now. So I'm going to just, once again, just cheat the system and pile in more demand, or more space right there. That's what we're going to do. There, double it down, friends. Double it down. They'll build those when we get the orders to. Apparently we do not want to build them. That's fine. There, 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 and there. Joy. Now, that'll thin it out a little bit for the meantime. In the meantime, these guys are full, right up full. That buffer chest is demanding a ton of walls, and this somehow was not set. If walls are less than 500, go. If walls are less than 500, go. There must have been so many available in this buffer chest. No, logistics request should have only brought it to 1,000 and stopped requesting. And these guys should not dump anything in because walls are not less than 500. How the heck does this thing have 3,200 walls in it? 4,800 walls, even better. Alright. Again, not had the feedback yet from you guys on that. I appreciate the feedback you're inevitably going to give to fix my stupid, but for now, it is what it is. Now, we have nearly enough cliff explosives to do what I have in mind today. I do want to start by over-requesting these guys to clean the area. Like really over requesting it. Give us a large area to work with, please. With no trees. Out there. Now I'm gonna go have some fun on the cliffs. Yeah, I totally could get the bots to do this. More fun to do it myself. Who doesn't like blowing up cliffs in this game? I like the early game challenge. Later, they're just fun things to hear that explosive sound effect from. Oh, that was a few of them, eh? That was a decent number we just used. Now, that's pretty good. Now, what I'd like to do is think about building forward. The things we're going to need, we're going to talk about the two things that we're going to need, and we're not going to get anywhere near them today, which is going to, once again, be only a half-hour long episode, of course. I promises I don't. I promise to try again. I've got a big flashy light that smashes red light aggressively in my face if I go over the half-hour mark, and it's just not been enough. I need a beeping alarm that irritates me. All right. Production science packs. Those are the ones we don't have. Yellow we effectively don't have. We have a tiny trickle. Almost enough to get the artillery going, oddly enough. We've researched 2,000 artillery for that, haven't we? So it is 2,000 to get artillery. We're almost done. We've only got like 4 of these machines barely trickling material in. So that's obviously not the rate we want to work on these. These guys produce at a production rate of, that's here I can see, 3 utility packs are produced in 21 seconds. So if we had 7 of these, we would produce 1 per second. All right? That's a fairly substantial rate that will, for now, match what we're doing up here. When I'm not really concerned about science being, science producing fast is not our goal here. Science producing fast enough to keep us operational is, but we never, this is what, 1 per second? Not even. This is 1.5-ish per second. But that's what we've got on these. We've got one, these produce 2 apiece. And we've got, they take 24, no. Hold on. Throw another one down and get the proper information. 2 of them in 24 seconds. We've got, instead of 24 of them to produce 2 a second, we've got 12 of them down to produce 1 per second. And that's the theory. We're doing 1 per second-ish. You know, by the way, I know, I don't need the hyper detailed. You've got the math wrong by 0.2 because Factorio does 0.02 because Factorio never uses round numbers. I understand. But this guy, for instance, has a 0.75 build speed, so all these numbers are reduced by, or divided by, or multiplied by 0.75 to get the real numbers. Got it. We're past that. Now we're assuming these are all 1 per second. Got it? One recipe would be 5 per second. One machine would take 5 seconds to produce 1, so 5 machines would produce 1 per second. That's the math I'm working with, just to get past that other hurdle that I know is going to happen. Now, these guys produce 3, and they produce in 21 seconds. So, if I wanted 1 per second, I would need 7 of each. Long-winded nonsense. Each of them has a set of weird instructions. This one's going to be rails. It sounds weird anyways. Electric furnaces and production modules. It is, after all, a production science. So rail seems like a great fundamental for high productivity. And the idea of high-tech furnaces, or as high-tech as our furnaces get, being electric furnaces, those sound great, and productivity, module 1s all sound good, sound sensible for this. This guy we've already looked at before, low density structure. This is utility science, so kind of the modernish science, electronics. So think like computer sciencing sort of things. Here we got low density structures for like rocketry and drone flights and that sort of thing. Flying robot frames, 1/3. Processing units, 2/3, and low density structures, 1. That's the recipe to produce 1 per second. With 7 units. So, this entire recipe divided by 3. Same with this one, this entire recipe divided by 3. The idea then is that we need very little modules, very little electric furnaces, and about 10 rails, which is actually not very much. Over here we need less than 2/3 of a processing unit, 1/3 of a robot frame, and 1 low density structure per second. Not bad, but to get there, all of those are going to work their way through. In this case, blue circuits and flying robot frames are an issue. These guys are going to take electric furnaces. Well, we can actually go ahead. Oops, we can set that up and look at it better. There and there. So you're going to have blue circuits, robot frames, and low density structures. You are going to have rails, furnaces, and those things. Rails would be under transportation. You're going to have electric furnaces, and you're going to have productivity 1s. All right? So this is what we need. We're going to need stone and steel and iron sticks. Easy enough to make. This guy's going to need steel, red circuits, and stone. This is going to need red and green circuits. This is going to need red and green circuits and sulfuric acid. This is going to need green circuits, electric engines, which take lubricant, batteries, which take sulfuric acid. And these guys are plastics. So the issue isn't, can we make these? The issue is, can we make a actual, like Elon Musk says, designing a rocket can be done in the afternoon, on a I don't know, restaurant napkin. Super easy. And it's nice to say for Elon Musk, but we all know. We all know of him anyways. And The next hardest thing is to build the rocket, right? Obviously, that's challenging in real life to build a rocket. But the real challenge, he says, is to make a production system capable of repeatedly building rockets rapidly. That's the idea. If I go ahead and put in purple science and put in yellow science on a trickle, on some Mod Podge mess, we're not really improving the overall functionality of the base. So, the first step is to go backwards from all of that, and that's going to lead us to two components that we desperately are going to need en masse. Absolutely en masse, which is green circuits and red circuits. Eventually blue circuits. So we need the whole kit and caboodle of the green, red, and blue circuit system. Now, you know what? I'm going to actually go ahead and load it up while we're talking about it. Because last series... Oh, wait. Let's save this one before I do. As episode 52. And then I can go back to it. Yes, that's right. And then I just about oopsed that and had to start over. Not that it would matter. We haven't really produced much of anything. Then last time in our previous series, we did the Deathworld All Achievement Run, which was a whole lot of fun. 150 satellites launched by the end of it. But this is our crazy build here. We had all sorts of decent tech stuff going on. But this was the build I did for the green circuits. I kind of liked it, kind of didn't. The problems I had with it is the layout quite frequently stalls here because the blue just simply can't pull enough. There's no delay in this this blue line going out here. It's feeding at absolute max range. That's amusing that something like this was still... This is Drake right here. See that? That was however many years that happened. You know, I'm amazed. I left that running for ages and days. This was my logistics solution, just for you, so you guys know. This was my logistics access solution previously. It's probably what I'll end up with this time. But things like this still happen even when you're doing bigger builds. But these are all prioritized out this way. They've got multiple lines to get through, and they're not feeding. So this is an entirely full belt here that just doesn't keep up. It's compact, but not 100% efficiency. These are also productivity 3s, so the speed on these is not ideal, but these will produce enough to feed these guys. These guys are running almost steadily. Problem, he pauses because he has nowhere to go. That's keeping up. Right, so it's not terrible, but I mean, I could do things like this to make these work better. That is indeed a better setup. But yet we only have a red line coming in here. It basically drains the line. Does nothing over here. It's not a hyper efficient system. Perhaps there is a better one. So I don't know if there's a better one. I don't anticipate being able to instantly find it, but we're going to fumble around with it a little bit and try to think our way through a better system than we used last time. So the idea is, of course, that we're going to bring the copper down. We're going to mass produce these in sequence. Do we have a way to produce them, a ratio of production? Can we think of a ratio of production? Green and red and blue. If I want to produce... Well, I don't want to produce an even amount. I don't want to produce all the max blue, right? I don't want, if I look, okay, how much is this going to need? This is how much we produce to fill as many of these as we want. That's not going to solve the problem. I don't need 10 of these guys producing, right? That's 10. All producing the blue circuits. Like that, right? And then say, oh, there's 10 of them. They're going to produce at 1 per second. Cool, that's great rate, which means I need 20 per second input of green, and I need 2 per second of red. That ratio will not fill. That ratio will be used with great, and it'll only get us all the blue we need. As long as they're, assuming they are all the same in assembler types and the same either productivity or speed or whatever modules or no modules. That's not going to fill the need. Now, if we do a system that feeds directly, we could possibly do something that does, like, say there's 20 of those. They produce that's 20 per second, so we need 20 per second off the green. They produce 2 in half a second. Sorry, they produce 1 in half a second, so 2 per second. So that's 20 per second I need, so I could indeed go with 10 of these, right? And that would be... This is enough greens at the same speed to fill these blues. Okay, so maybe what we do is feed stuff in and have a desired output. So what we have a build that just does blue circuits. Instead of like the other one, where I built a bunch of greens, I pumped them out, put them onto a belt, they got up and they got chewed up by the red circuits and then so on. What if we build a unit that pulls the raw materials in and outputs the highest tier blues? And then another system that produces just reds. And then another system that produces just greens. So that the bus is actually not... The bus is not making green circuits and then feeding green circuits somewhere further down the line into the blues. I kind of like the feel of that idea. So let's see if we can get there. This sort of ratios anyways. Not going to get it all built immediately, but the ratio. That means you guys are producing. 6 of these would produce 1 per second. I need 2 per second, so we need that many of the reds. Now, that is interesting, because the red's also going to have a need of greens. So these 6, this is 12, they're going to need another 2. So I need to actually have 12, 12, and 10. Oops. I need 12 greens producing. 2 of these will feed all of this. The other 10 of these will feed all of this. Okay. Not hating this idea at this point. What else would we be able to do to feed these guys? They would only just need that and sulfuric acid. Interestingly, what if we did something like this? If these are the blues, these are the reds, how do we get sulfuric acid into those? There's not a lot of red speed needed to fill these at all. To be honest, the 20 greens is not actually a crazy number. We would need you guys producing greens and then feeding those to this. Interesting. Well, this is weird. If you guys like creative nonsense, you're probably in the wrong place. But if you like just the nonsense part of the nonsense, you're probably in the right place. This may be a stupid idea. This is going to output... Huh. Right? That sort of thing. Like that. No, they're gonna need to be like greens, aren't they? They kind of almost need to be direct fed. Okay, they could probably do that. I am enjoying the creativity brain prop challenge here. What if we did this? Think with me here. You know, this is don't automatically assume it's dumb. It probably is, but don't automatically assume that's the case. Come on. I mean, what's gonna... We'll leave that for a second, but these would be direct feed. They have 2 of the 3 components already. Because we did decide this produces 1 per cycle, which is a half second, so 2 per second. This needs... takes 10 seconds, needs 20, so 2 per second. I don't hate this idea. You guys are going to need copper cable. Oh, you're going to need iron as well. That's the problem there. Can I figure a way to get iron fed into these guys like that. No, I don't think I can. Because these guys would actually need iron bars fed in at a tune of 2 per second. Okay. Let's move this side over a little bit, like there. Okay. Somewhere-ish in there. Then we're going to have the output-input scenario we had before. So they have to have iron coming in. Right? We did have iron coming in on a... In. Every second one is in. You guys are out, and out. Okay, so the output's going to go into something over here. If it could just be so much as a box, to be honest. But then, would that be enough? Yes. Hold on a second. Again, I moved that wrong. What if we do one tile further over, like that? And then these are boxes? Ooh, I kind of like this nonsense. Oh wait, I don't want you to be doing that. They can't drop onto the ground, because the ground can only hold one. But they could drop into boxes. Amusingly enough, they could be just wooden boxes. Just crate them, and then unload the crates in the other factory, you know. That's a thing, right? Like that. Oh, I'm loving the look of this. This is nonsense. This is utterly ridiculous. But what if it actually works? And then this would probably have to be upgraded to blues, to be honest, but we could do this. For the iron input. And then you guys have a input direct for those. Do we make these even in production? Missing materials in construction. We do have. Do we have those made? Do we have colorful inserters anywhere? Feels like we don't. We'll get them made later. I mean, for now I can make them, but they don't need to be made. Well, they kind of would. Look at that. That would actually work. Does this work? How many of these can I make? 5. Really? That's it? Okay. Not cool. Probably not cool. No, forgot about that. Left you on. You're still gonna empty me. For sure. Not anymore, you're not, boys. Or is the trash slot still work? Maybe it does. Alright, craft me. Oh. Don't really care, just craft them. Dudes, just do the thing. Alright, we'll leave them alone. I just keep crafting bit by bit. So if I do that, and then I've got it's probably going to be a blue belt, or a number of blue belts to do this. That's fine. Right? So these bring in copper. This puts them into copper. I kind of love this. I don't know if the volume's going to work. I also don't think that has any option for putting in... I don't really care. For putting in beacons. Beacons can't change productivity, can they? No, they only... Am I remembering that correctly? That they can only change speed, but not productivity? That was weird. A little burst of fun. Wait a second, did I just step out of some magic non-cross... No, I didn't. So, the copper comes in here. Right? The iron comes in here. Copper hits these guys. Even ratios. Stuffs it into a box, stuffs that into here. We now have the 20 green. Of course, these guys would be stacked to just one block apiece. Like that. Just a little crate. Right? And then these guys are going to need their ingredients, which is going to be green, which we make down here. They need 2 per second per set, so they need 4 per second. These guys output 2 per second. So that's fine. What they produce here can actually come straight out and be fed into these guys. Possibly even down a belt line. You then need copper cables and plastics. You are going to need to pick those up, though. So if I have... These are not fast processes. So I could put green on one side, plastics and cable on the other side. How much plastic? How much cable? I need those to be 4 copper cable per second, 8 copper cable per second. You do 4 per second. Okay, so literally another set of those. Unfortunately, I can't quite fit it in here. That would be awesome. Oh. No, can't quite make it work in there. It's a little too compact, sir. So do this. Nice and clean anyways. And then the output, right? And then we've got... I don't know if one line's going to be enough for them. Certainly not. Copper cable is the... Yeah, that's not the smallest one. What's the smallest one? Plastics and green on one belt, copper cable on the other is the general way we do this, that I do this. So this and this, right? Copper cable here. And green here, or what, green and plastics is it? Here? And we could also do the sulfuric acid instead of plastic. Do we input plastic here, or do we input... Okay, we got 2 lines coming in here. That's inconvenient location, isn't it? Well, we're gonna move it anyway, so we'll just pretend this is working. And then each of these just have a an input line. I think we did it this way. Pretending that system, that this is not in the way. Then we did reds in here because the timing on these is not that big of a deal. You can grab from both because it's a 6-second process. Anything that can hit that belt in that time is plenty enough to get through. You then need an output, right? You're going to have to dump straight in there. It's not going to work. It's not going to direct feed like that, but this direct feed is fun. Or is it? Can I? No, that's going to shuffle this mess down here. Okay, so instead of that, we take the whole thing over one tile. Not that whole thing. This whole thing over one tile. Take that one out, and it just goes over even further that way. Right? Come on. Like that. Okay, so then these guys get their inputs from the right. That's their inputs there, and their outputs are going to go here. No. That won't work. Their outputs... Oh. It might not work like this. Need more space or something. Because the pipes are now going to be an issue. If we do undergrounds, we're still dealing with the same issue, right? Not going to solve anything. Okay, we can't do it from the bottom. Unfortunately, these aren't buildings that like flow through, like the uranium mines do. So that's going to have an output. It's a blue circuit. It's not going to be producing very fast. It's going, unfortunately, it's going to output like that, which will mean this lands in the wrong space. This all has to go over even further. Lands on there. That can be even just one tile further. We don't need to build it entirely like this. We're at our time for the day, but you know how that works. Sort of. I really want it to be done real soon, so I'll try to start wrapping it up. Once this idea is in my mind, feels like it's semi-workable and ready for you guys to critique, you can let me know. I'm not that concerned about whether it's the best one or if somebody has some better one. Feel free to hand it off too, or suggest it. But if this goes here, now these don't have to line up directly, so we could make these how could we make these work? Can we make this work? I don't think so. This has to grab from somewhere there, so it's got to grab from here, which is not going to work. It's going to have to go over yet another tile. That is less than ideal. Less than ideal. That would work. And then this is going to be the output for the blue. That also doesn't work. Dang it. Hold on. If the output for the blue is here, we're going to land on a belt going this way for the blue. Blue comes out on here. We have in and out the same way? Yes, we could. That's doable. You guys have to have an out and an in. You guys then have to have an out. And you'll just do this. That's fine. Right? Like that. I kind of like this. Okay, grab this again. Move it for like the 15th time. So there. I see those are in the way. This is obviously also going to be out of the way. Let's actually do that now. Just shove it over there for the moment. And then I can make this a little cleaner. Right, and you're going to have your input line. And then what do we have? Sulfur and something? Copper cable is down one, and sulfur and greens are down the other. So there's a line here that needs to be built in. So this has to jump there. This guy comes off here. You're going to go like this. You're going to go like this, 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 and this. You're going to come around like in here. Interesting. I don't know if it's smart, but it's interesting. And then we need plastics also is the only other input we needed here. So if we had a plastics line, we could do something with that. We could also shuffle this north. I don't want to. So we'd bring plastics in even straight down and hit a loop. We could bring plastics, oh, like that. Do that. We could also bring, oh, we could do it like this, right? There you go. That's going to grab and dump weirdly. Oh, I don't like that idea. I'd rather bring the plastics down the other way. This'll work. This'll work. We're almost under 40 minutes. Not there. There to there. This guy can come across. We do this. We have one of these. Got a plastics line coming down. You guys go up. Like that. So we feed plastics in here. None of these four matter. You guys are somewhere in there. Like that. We output you every set there. There, 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 and there. That goes up here. And all of this to produce one of these. That's 1 per second. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of stuff. We need to input sulfuric acid. We need to input plastic. We need to put iron and copper. I'm not sure what ratio per second this is going to need, but it takes the greens, makes the red, it literally takes the raw materials, outputs only blue circuits. No output of anything else. In fact, this up here, oops, not there, get stuck, Drake. This produces no greens, produces no copper cable, produces no, this whole thing, produces no greens, copper cable, red circuits, nothing else. Just outputs blue circuit, that's it. However we do that. We say there, output, right filter, blue circuits. It's not going to work. But anyways, sort of it is. Yeah, it is. So these reds come up here. They stop when they run out of room. That's fine. We could do the side loader thing too. Blue is going to be on the outside here. We could do a do one of these and say we'll take this. No, that's our blue output. That's it. Now all we need to do is power this beast and then bring it in. Now, I have to power, we have to bring in the sulfuric acid, the copper, the iron, and the plastics. Doable. Is it a crazy footprint? It was fun to build. Does that count for anything? I think it does. Thank you everybody for joining me. We'll be back in the next episode, and I would love to hear your feedback on this idea of producing this. Now this can scale up. Should be able to scale up evenly. We go from the blues, we could go into the greens, wherever they are. Productivity, some automation 2s, that's those guys. Where's the automation 3s? Should be in here somewhere. Where the heck are you, automation 3s? Do I have a search? There it is, automation 3. You produce the greens, which go from a 0.75 to a 1.25 production. They can also hold 4 modules. Sorry, they can hold 3 modules, I believe. I mean, why not? It only takes 150 purple. I could almost make that in my pocket. Anyways. Then we'd produce the greens, put them in there, and then we'd decide if we're doing production or speed or something modules to boost that. Now, what that does not do is beacons. That's the beast that is not included in that. Is that worth doing? We have the real estate. We could do dozens of these. I don't know how much materials they're going to take. In fact, I do. That's going to take like a whole belt of copper. Isn't it? You take 1 copper cable. You take 2 copper per second. There are 14 of you. You take 2 per second, which means I'm getting 28 copper per second. This guy can only hold 30 items of copper per second. That's a red belt. A blue belt holds 45. Wow. This is actually decently trim. It's not going to be a waste. There's not going to be... We don't need multiple red lines in here for copper. You don't need multiple plastic lines or anything else in here. And it will not produce very much blue. That is an atrociously productive or massive consuming thing just to make these blue circuits. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you, everybody. We made the 40-minute marker. We'll see you in game.